Welcome to TV2 Profiles. I'm your host, Cheyenne Carroll. Now for this show, we'll be interviewing women here in the Tuscarawas Valley that are so important to everything that happens here, whether it's through the community or by their job, if they own a business, also government leaders, really anything that makes a woman special here in the Valley. During today's episode, I will sit down with Carmel Howder. Carmel is the director of the Rainbow Connection, and we talked with her about her volunteerism and some of her past, where her family's from and how they've grown up here in the Valley. Also, I'll speak with Martha Campbell, and Martha is involved in so many volunteerism acts. She's also part of the Democratic Committee here in Tuscarawas County. She's also in the State Democratic Committee, and she does a lot of volunteer work with the Miss Clayland pageant and a bunch of other things involving kids. So we'll get to know Martha a little bit more right here on TV2 Profiles.
My name is Danielle. I'm a 2000 graduate from Buckeye Career Center Health Occupation Program, which helped me get my job here at Union Hospital on the pediatric floor as a registered nurse.
We are Buckeye Career Center graduates.
Buckeye Career Center helped my family get the training and education they needed to start our careers.
We're Buckeye Career Center graduates.
I'm Rod. Upon graduation of Buckeye Career Center, they helped me find a job.
Adults who return to Buckeye Career Center to continue their education usually have one goal in mind. They want the opportunity for a better job. The fact is, adult education programs at Buckeye Career Center are less expensive and provide greater opportunities for job placement following graduation. It's your future. Get the facts. Buckeye Career Center. We put people to work. Find out more about your future at buckeyecareercenter.org.
Hat maker Vincent Brimble prospered in the town of Hattington. Never flashy, he only made the classic bowler. Then suddenly the day's trend became preposterously tall. His Raymond James financial advisor reminded him that focusing on the long term is always fashionable. The fad was indeed a passing one. His patience paid off, allowing him to one day hang up his hat with confidence.
Are you uncertain about your retirement, your investments, or the economy and would like a second opinion, or would like to talk about your 401k rollover? Please call us at 330-343-2212 or visit our website, raymondjamesohio.com. Our offices are now located at 711 North Worcester Avenue in Dover. Raymond James Financial Services, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
WJER and TV2 would like to introduce you to a new website, WJERTV2.com, where you can watch exciting high school football, soccer, and volleyball replays from TV2 Sports on your home computer, smartphone, or tablet. Also watch the latest episodes of TV2's original programming, Sports Talk, The Garden Girl, The Not So Shy Chef, Off the Record, and Medical Minutes, as well as catch up on local community news and search for local businesses. So make sure to check out the new WJERTV2.com community website where everything's local.
Welcome back to TV2 Profiles. I'm your host again, Cheyenne Carroll, and this time around, I'm with Carmel Howder, and we know Carmel as the director of the Rainbow Connection. So welcome to the program, Carmel.
Thank you so much for this opportunity today.
Yeah, and we talk to you all the time about what you do here at Rainbow Connection. I'm very familiar with that, but before we get into who you are, tell me about Rainbow Connection and what you do here.
You know, Rainbow Connection's a big part of my life. I've been the executive director at the Rainbow for over 16 years now. We started out as Easter seals, so handicapped children are very near and dear to our hearts. Hopefully everybody realizes that we buy handicap equipment for outdoor playgrounds and also everything they need in the classrooms and in their homes. But on a day-to-day basis, we could buy your prescriptions, we could pay your medical bills. We try and do everything we can for our community here in Tuscarawas County.
And when you talk about everything that you do for the kids here in the county, any idea of how many people you actually serve?
We quit counting. We had to, because when you start doing aquatic lifts for a couple of swimming pools, playground equipment, the numbers run into 100,000 individuals, because it's in the playground, because it's in the pool. There are computers that are used by everyone in that classroom for many years. And after we buy a computer, we don't let it just die there. We keep it updated. We buy what it needs. So it's so many individuals.
Right. And I was thinking the Times Reporter All-Star Game. We're so familiar with that, and also the telethon that we are on TV2. So tell me about the fundraising aspect, because I'm sure you have a big part in that.
Yes, it's my baby. We've been doing the telethon for so many years, and that's our one day a year that we go to the community for assistance. The Times Reporter All-Star Game, that is a charity game thrown by the Times Reporter. We're lucky that we get to help out, and then they donate the proceeds to us. But that's not really we're very lucky that they give us the proceeds of that game, but it's their charity event, and we're just the recipients. The telethon, all us, all day, all the people from the community. You've seen how many people turn out for that telethon. For me, it's party day. I've already done my months and months of preparation. I start working on the telethon the day of that telethon. I start working for next year, talking to people, lining people up, because they're there to help us. Everyone that you see on the telethon, that's at a corporate sponsor level. That's how you get to be on television and work really, really hard. Everybody always asks me every year, I'd like to be on the telethon. Well, you have to be a corporate sponsor now. That's how blessed the Rainbow Connection is. Those are all our major donors.
Okay. And when I called Carmel to set up this interview, she said, well, you want to know about Rainbow Connection, right? And I said, of course, but I want to know the woman behind Rainbow Connection.
Yeah.
And you said you've never been asked that, right?
No one cares about who the director is. Everybody cares about the charity, and they're donating to the charity. I'm just the representative. I'm kind of like the little figurehead of this organization. You could tell I don't have a staff. I have a part-time secretary, and I'm the director, and that's how it's been going all these years. And obviously, we're doing a really good job.
Well, let's not waste any more time, Carmel.
Okay.
I want to know about the woman behind the Rainbow Connection. So where are you from, and how did you get into this type of field?
Well, I'm not from here. We joked about it earlier. I'm originally from New Jersey. I grew up in a big city. I was born in Jersey City, New Jersey, and then we moved on to Union City. And anybody that knows the state of New Jersey knows those are pretty good sized cities. And then my family, because there's 4 of us, there's 4 daughters. So my parents decided we're going to go out to the suburbs, and we went to Richfield Park, New Jersey, and that's where I graduated high school, the class of 72. So it's been a while, and I'm still in contact with a lot of my friends from high school. And matter of fact, we just celebrated a major birthday in Aruba, one of my best friends all through school. So several of us couples got together, including my one sister and her husband, and we got to celebrate our 60th birthday in Aruba this year. So it's not a bad year so far.
Good to know. Now, after you graduated high school, how did you make it to Tuscarawas County?
Oh, that's an ugly story. But I actually went to college to be a dental hygienist, and I knew right off the bat that wasn't going to be for me. You have to sit long periods of time to be a dental hygienist. Anyone that knows me at all knows I can't sit down for very long. I'm more of an active person. So I knew that wasn't going to be my field. But I came to Ohio and worked for dentists and dental offices, and then I went into oral surgery, and then from there I went to, it was Anderson Medical, and I repped for Anderson Medical. I did Medicare Part B, gathering the information to bill Medicare Part B. Best job in the world. I worked for Bill Wakasak, and it was a wonderful company and a wonderful job. So, of course, they closed that company because we were having entirely too much fun, and it was a fabulous job. So when the company was closing, I said to Bill, I said, what am I going to do? I said, I don't know what to do, because they weren't letting me go. They weren't offering me a separation package. So they were keeping me on as an employee, which that was not what I wanted to do. And Bill says, I have something, get your resume together. And that's who got me the job here at the Rainbow Connection. When I interviewed one evening, I interviewed to 8 board members. That was really something. But many of them were already friends of mine, people that I knew extremely well, and I've been here ever since, and I'm not going anywhere until they either ask me to leave or I retire.
Okay, and your family is also from around the area now as well?
Oh, I have two beautiful daughters. My one daughter, she's my favorite daughter because she gave me my granddaughter. And I have another daughter living in Columbus, which she's kind of my favorite too, but she hasn't given me any grandchildren yet. So at least I have my one daughter here and my granddaughter and wonderful son-in-law. So it's really a beautiful community. I stayed here in this area because this is really where you want to raise children. My children went all through Dover schools. That's why we're still tornadoes. And it's just a wonderful school system, and it's wonderful to live in a community that you know the teachers, the principal, the superintendent of schools, and it's all a very close-knit community. I'm also a Dover Rotarian, and I'm very active in Dover Rotary. I truly believe in the Rotary organization, and we just had our sportsmanship banquet, Dover New Philly Sportsmanship. Wonderful. This year was one of the best ones we've ever had.
Great. And I guess the last thing that I wanted to ask you today, Carmel, you said, you switched, well, you didn't switch your major, but you started as a dental hygienist in that field, and that just wasn't right. So what advice would you give to a local young woman who's maybe graduating high school, going off to college, or graduating college, and they're just not sure what to get into?
Volunteer. Volunteer for organizations, work for companies on the side, work in your summertime, when you're off school, work, find out, try and decide, and don't be hasty in making your decision. Grow up a little bit, learn and see what you're interested in.
Okay, Carmel, anything else for us today?
I just really appreciate you coming. I've never spoken, about myself before here with the Rainbow Connection, and I'm happy we're showing off a little bit of our office, and I welcome anyone to stop in and see this beautiful building that was donated to the Rainbow Connection from Mike and Sue Stokey.
Okay, again, that's Carmel Howder. She's the director here at the Rainbow Connection. And for TV2 Profiles, I'm Cheyenne Carroll.
Omni Orthopedics comprehensive programs provide early diagnosis and successful treatment for every musculoskeletal problem. With more than 30 years of orthopedic experience, their physicians offer patient-centered treatment for all ages. From evaluation to rehabilitation, your treatment plan is designed around your needs. Omni Orthopedics specializes in sports medicine, the spine, physical medicine and rehabilitation, foot and ankle, and hand surgery. If pain makes activities like climbing stairs, standing or walking a challenge, turn to the home team at Omni Orthopedics. Their mission is to provide you with the highest quality and most advanced orthopedic services so you can get back in the game. Located in the Oxford Medical Arts Building, Omni offers a full-service facility including digital x-ray and physical therapy. So there's no need to travel when quality care is so close to home. Omni Orthopedics, setting the standard in orthopedic care.
I'm John Maselli, and I would like to welcome you to the Sunnyside Store restaurant. Since 1999, we have served over 500,000 meals. We specialize in steak, pasta, and the patron special, ribs. The Sunnyside Store is located at 5495 North Worcester Avenue in Peral. Hours are Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Sunday, we open at 9 a.m. for breakfast. For more information or to schedule an event in the banquet room for groups of 40 or smaller, call 330-364-5474. This is John Maselli inviting you to the Sunnyside Store restaurant.
Hello and welcome back to TV2 Profiles. I'm your host Cheyenne Carroll, and with me today is Martha Campbell. And Martha wears many hats here in Tuscarawas County. Just to name a few, I actually had to write these down so I could remember, but she is the director of the Miss Clayland Scholarship Program, which we know a lot about. She's heavily involved with the Tuscarawas County Democratic Party, also the president of the Cordell Cares Foundation, a Second and Seven Foundation volunteer. She is a part of the Tuscarawas County Ohio State Alumni Club, and was named Tuscarawas County Woman of the Year. Martha, how do you have time for all of these different things that you are so heavily involved in?
Two key things: I'm not married and I don't have children. So for those of you that do have children or spouses, that is a really big thing. You know what? I had the opportunity when I was younger. 3 years old. My father was in a trucking accident, lost both of his legs. The community was so good to my family, providing childcare and helping to provide meals for our family, that when my dad finally got out of the hospital, my parents knew they couldn't pay people back, so they wanted to pay it forward to the community. So I grew up with my brothers and sisters actually volunteering. So to us, that's what you were supposed to do. Of course, I didn't realize till later in life it was a choice, and by then I was already, into it, and it meant a lot to me too. So
now, is there one thing that you do that means the most, or that you enjoy a little more than any one thing? I know that's probably a hard question.
I enjoy everything that I do because I like doing things for others. I like doing things for kids, but I have to be absolutely honest, and as an Ohio State alumnus and as a football geek, like I could watch that 24/7, yes, very self-proclaimed. I am really enjoying my time with the 2nd and 7 Foundation, the Cordell Cares Foundation, and even a little bit of time that I've been able to spend working with the Driven Foundation. And basically the reason is because when you have the stature and when you have that title of being like a former Ohio State football player, you can do things that other people can't. And so I enjoy working with those people because they can make more things happen, because people can relate to them because they are a former Buckeye.
Right, and I know I've gotten to meet a few of those because of you, and I was so thankful for those opportunities. With the 2nd and 7 Foundation, I still have the books that they gave me that day, and I plan on one day when we have children, to hand those books over. Why is it so important for you, though? You talked about the football players, but all of these organizations deal with teens or young children. Why is that important to you?
I think it also goes back to when I was growing up, and even when I got to high school age, and I decided I was going to go to school and I was going to go to Ohio State. There was no place else I was going to go. But, then what happened was I started applying for scholarships in our community, and I realized there are so many people who give to the future of students in this community. And I just think it's really, really important that now that I'm in a situation where I can help raise those funds, that's what I need to do. With the Miss Clayland Scholarship Program, my family has gotten so much larger because of all the young women who have gone through that program that become a part of your life. And they're so committed to their platforms, and they want to get additional education, and they keep striving, to get that higher education. And so I enjoy helping them with that. I enjoy being a part of what their platform is and working on that particular issue or that project that they're working on. The 2nd and 7, I love kids, and I think reading is so important. I'm kind of like the friend who gives books to kids all the time. So I really enjoy that, and I think that's so important. And especially with the Cordell Cares Foundation, the 2nd and 7 Foundation, and the Driven Foundation, they're also teaching the next generation of kids to give back. Because especially in Columbus, and even when 2nd and 7 came here, when the student athletes go out to read, here it's high school student athletes that we take out. But in Ohio State, the Ohio State student athletes from every sport go into 2nd grade classrooms every Thursday and Friday and read the books to the kids and give them a free book. It's so important that we invest time back in the communities who support us.
Right, well, and while you're investing that time, you do so much traveling because you're going to Columbus to maybe watch a Buckeyes game or to help with these foundations that are based in that area. How do you have time? I mean, you go everywhere. You've been to the Miss America pageant numerous times, I'm guessing.
Right.
That's a lot of traveling.
It is, but you know what? I figure, sleep is overrated. The bonus is I'm a very organized person. And so I can tell you right now, when my meetings are and what my events are for the next 3 months, because that's what you have to do. And like I said, I can be flexible. And if they say, hey, Martha, can you go here? I usually can, because it's not like I have to go, well, I have to get this schedule set or this schedule set, So that works out really well. And honestly, it has been such a blessing too, because who knew that when I turned 50, Jimmy Cordell, who played for Ohio State and was with the Giants at the time, that was my 50th birthday present, to go to the Super Bowl to watch the Giants play. I mean, trust me, bucket lists, you can't even imagine there, It's funny, most of my bucket list items deal with football, but it's okay. It's all good.
It doesn't surprise me, honestly. Now, as I mentioned, you're also heavily involved with the Tuscarawas County Democratic Party. I know you've held numerous positions with that. Why? Why are you so involved with the behind the scenes almost of politics?
Right. Well, I served 10 years on the Claymont School Board, which is actually, it's a nonpartisan group there, you don't have to declare your party to actually serve in that position. I guess I'm one of those people that since high school, like to me, your civics class in high school, your American government class, those were important to me. And I really saw the importance of it. Now, granted, my father served on city council, my mom has served on city council. And so I see the importance of what those individual roles play. A lot of people determine which party they're active with because of their parents, which is how I got my introduction to the Democratic Party. But honestly, my beliefs fall a lot in line with the Democratic Party. Not everything, but that's, for the majority of the issues, I fall in line with the Democratic Party. And again, it's so important to try. It was really disappointing to me in this past election to find out that 30% of Ohioans voted in this election. 30%. And yesterday, just talking about that with someone and saying, when we were speaking of Veterans Day recently, we give thanks to all those veterans who served and the people who continue to serve our nation and our armed forces. My heart goes out to them and my respect. But I'm thinking they're fighting for those freedoms and those rights, and then we don't exercise those rights. So I think that's really why I've tried to stay committed to a political party and just the whole issue of voting. I think it's very, very important, and I think we have to try and find ways to encourage people to vote and make the younger generations understand. For example, in Uricksville, the issue with the trash, where they've now gone to there's one hauler for the entire city. Good, bad, indifferent, whatever your thought is on that issue, those people need to understand that the people that made that decision were the members of the Uricksville City Council. It counts at every level how you vote and who you vote for. And I think if we can try and instill in the younger people, especially, the importance of how your vote can determine things in the future, I think it's just really important. So I think it's really important to stay involved in doing things like that as well.
Well, and another question to kind of go with that, do you ever foresee yourself running for office?
I think I'm beyond that. I enjoy serving. I'm currently elected as the state executive or state central committee member for this particular Senate district. And I like that because you're kind of getting basically the organizational portion of the party statewide. And then I'm also doing the same thing here in Tuscarawas County. Do I see myself running for office again? I don't think so. I really don't. When you hit your early 50s, you kind of start realizing, maybe that's beyond me now. But I would love to find younger people who are interested in running because I think it's really important.
All right, so we've talked a lot about your volunteerism. If there's one thing in your life that you would take back, would you take anything back? Would you change anything that you've done so far? Because you are involved in so many different things. Anything you do differently? Hard question.
Anything I would do differently.
Or anything that maybe you still want to do?
Oh,
Two questions
honestly, okay, I would tell you, my ultimate dream is to be a color analyst or a broadcaster for football. Not lying. That is my honest, I would love that. I actually, and I had an opportunity, the person who announces like the Claymont football games years ago had laryngitis, and they called me that day and they said, will you do this? I was in the height of my glory. That was like the greatest thing that I could do, just because I just love it. And I love every aspect of football. And I love, people think I'm crazy sometimes when I'm at like Ohio State games and I'm like, oh, look, oh, look, there's Jacoby Boren on the line, when he first came in as center. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what a great, what a great snap. Oh, that one was high. People are looking at me like, wait a minute, who's the center? Well, because offensive linemen aren't really people that get a lot of recognition.
But I feel like maybe because you are a woman, and that's sad to say. There are a lot of female sideline reporters. I did a little bit of that in college, so I know that. But, your main announcers for TV and radio, they're men. There's very few women, and I know a lot of times men don't like to listen to the women when they're calling those games, for the NFL and college football. Do you think that's maybe part of it?
I think it is. I think because so many people I've met in my life, like men, are kind of like brushing off what I might say about football, not really knowing that I do understand it, you know what I mean? As I'm like, I don't want to be pompous about it, but I'm like, no, I get that. No, I really can tell you who that is, and what he did wrong or what he needs to do better the next time, know. So it's just something I really, really enjoy. I don't think there's honestly ever anything in my life that's happened that I would take back. And I think the reason is because I think everything good that happens, there's a reason, and everything bad that happens, there's a reason for that as well. And I think that you learn from both, and you grow from both. And I hope that things that I've learned, I'm able to pass on to other people to help somebody else's life in the future.
Okay, I think that's a good way to end it. Well, we thank you, Martha Campbell. Again,
Absolutely.
Martha Campbell here with us today on TV2 Profiles. And I'm your host, Cheyenne Carroll. So that concludes our interview. Thanks again, Martha, for stopping by.
Thank you so much.